Okay, let's just get right into this, shall we? Welcome to today's Explainer. We're going to unpack something that is quite literally altering how we perceive reality itself. We're diving deep into the terrifying spectrum of digital deception. And we'll be looking at the whole shebang. Everything from mind-bending, cutting-edge AI, all the way down to those incredibly simple, low-tech tricks that can just completely rewire our understanding of the world. But, to really grasp what's at stake here, we have to start by looking at how this seemingly abstract tech can crash into a highly personal reality.
So, imagine this scenario for a second. It's a Saturday evening. We have a fictional politician, Senator John Thompson, and he's just having a peaceful family dinner. He's got his phone face down. That's his rule, right? But then, it buzzes. And again. And again. Finally, he steps into the hallway to call his frantic chief of staff, who drops a bomb. A devastating video of him is going viral online. Moments later, on the family's giant TV, John sees himself standing at a podium delivering this horrible, racist, xenophobic rant. It's casual hate, incredibly charged rhetoric, and it is completely out of character for him. His daughter, Emily, turns to him, tears welling up, and delivers just a crushing blow. She says, "Dad, how could you? I don't even know who you are anymore."
Now, John is frantically pleading with his family. He's saying, "That's not me, it's fake." And then this chilling memory hits him. Just a week prior, he had received a mysterious threat. And honestly, this brilliantly illustrates the terrifying personal stakes of this technology. The message said, "Drop out of the race, Senator Thompson, or we'll destroy you so thoroughly that even your family won't recognize you." At the time, he assumed it was, a threat of physical violence. But the truth was far more insidious. This was a highly realistic synthetic extortion plot, a deepfake designed specifically to just annihilate his reputation.
So how on earth did we get here? How did we arrive at a point where a digital doppelganger can just hijack your life? Well, to figure that out, we actually need to look backwards. Think about that famous 1993 cartoon from The New Yorker. You've probably seen it. Two dogs at a computer, and one is saying to the other, "On the internet, nobody knows you're a dog." Now, back in 1993, this was just a quirky, kind of provocative joke about digital anonymity. Fast forward to today, though, and man, that simple truth has evolved into a really dark reality. Because with the explosion of synthetic media, you might not just be talking to a dog pretending to be a human, you might not be interacting with a real flesh and blood entity at all.
All right, let's demystify the core tech making this possible. Don't worry, you absolutely do not need a computer science degree to grasp this, but understanding the basic mechanics really sets you apart. The foundation of a traditional deepfake relies on two key AI techniques. The first one is called an autoencoder. Think of it kind of like a highly advanced observation and memory tool. It essentially studies thousands of videos of a target's face, figures out the absolute most essential characteristics, compresses that data way down, and then attempts to decompress it to literally recreate that face from scratch.
Now, what's really fascinating is the second technique, generative adversarial networks, or GANs for short. So once the autoencoder does its initial job, the GAN takes over. And this involves two rival neural networks locked in this relentless automated competition. It's like a high-tech game of cat and mouse. One network, the generator, creates the fake videos. The other network, the discriminator, acts as the detective trying to spot the fakes. They just go back and forth, iterating millions of times. And it's exactly this ruthless algorithmic competition that refines the output until it produces a highly realistic synthetic video or flawlessly cloned audio. But wait, what if you don't just want to swap a face onto an existing body? What if you want to generate an entirely new scene completely from scratch? Well, this brings us to a newer, immensely powerful piece of tech called diffusion models. Instead of just replacing elements of an existing video, diffusion models take text prompts and generate entirely novel images. And here's the kicker. They aren't just copying and pasting from a Google image search. No way. The AI is effectively using its own digital imagination based on its learned understanding of the components you actually asked for.
Okay, taking a look at this process, we can see exactly how it works. On the one hand, you have the fixed forward diffusion process. This is where the AI takes a perfectly clear picture of a dog and gradually, step by step, turns it into pure static noise. All the while, it's memorizing every single mathematical step of that destruction. Then, the real magic happens. In the generative reverse denoising process, the AI starts with that random noise and literally reverses the algorithm. It pulls a brand new dog right out of the static. So it is generating something completely new, not just copy-pasting.
To show you just how wild this text-to-image diffusion process is, the author of our source material put it to a highly specific test. They asked two different AI models, Midjourney and DALL-E, to create a surreal image of a bunny in a spacesuit trying to eat ice cream while riding a tricycle through some spooky woods. I mean, that is specific, right? But look at the results. Both AIs executed this whimsical, incredibly complex prompt beautifully. It empowers just incredible creativity on a whim. But, as we'll see, that same whim-based generation also empowers bad actors to fill the world with very convincing lies.
So here is the absolutely crucial point we need to make. We are all rightfully fascinated and, frankly, terrified by these high-tech deepfakes. But we cannot let that blind us to a much simpler, maybe even more common threat. You see, technological sophistication isn't always the fastest or the most devastating way to trick us. We have to talk about cheap fakes. These rely on super low-tech methods. We're talking basic editing, splicing, altering video speed, or simply just changing the context of real, unedited footage. Because literally anyone with a smartphone can do this, cheap fakes remain one of the primary drivers of digital disinformation today.
Let's look at a real-world case study of how reframing reality works without a single line of AI code. Back in 2019, the politically charged group Turning Point USA posted a meme. It shows a supermarket with entirely empty shelves, and the big impact font reads, "Everyone understands the importance of free markets, eventually." This was widely shared on social media right alongside the hashtag Socialism Sucks. The message is clear, it's visceral, and it really seems to provide undeniable photographic proof of an ideology failing.
But hold on a second, let's deconstruct that context. The meme was a complete fabrication. When we look at the original uncropped photograph, those empty shelves, they had absolutely nothing to do with socialism. First off, this photo was actually taken in 2011. That's deception number one. Second, it was taken in a grocery store in Japan, which is a highly capitalist country, deception number two. And the real reason those shelves were empty is because the country had just been rocked by a series of catastrophic earthquakes, deception number three. So we have three massive lies packed into a single, unaltered, but entirely out-of-context photograph.
And the crazy part is, this happens constantly across all spheres. Remember the 2019 climate protests in London? Well, photos of trash-filled parks went completely viral to discredit the protesters. But guess what? Those photos were actually taken in Mumbai. Or how about after a 2020 Iranian attack on US bases, footage of Russian military drills and literally video game clips were circulated online as quote-unquote proof of the strike. We see it in out-of-context political ads basically every single election cycle. We even see it in pop culture, like when Kim Kardashian selectively edited and distributed private phone audio between Kanye West and Taylor Swift. The context is just stripped away to seamlessly spread misinformation.
Now you might be asking yourself, why do we keep falling for this stuff? We're complex, reasoning beings, right? Well, the really uncomfortable truth here is that our minds are literally pre-programmed to believe what we see and hear. We process visual and auditory information so quickly, automatically, and completely unconsciously. Psychologists call this System 1 thinking, making those instantaneous snap judgments based on very limited information. And this cognitive vulnerability is massively amplified by confirmation bias. Basically, if a cheap fake aligns with what we already believe, our brains eagerly accept it and just completely skip the critical thinking step.
This psychological trap leads us right into what the source text calls the IYKY, or if you know, effect. Think about it. If you sit in a controlled lab and an expert tells you, hey, this video you're about to watch is a deepfake, you will easily spot the unnatural blinking, the weird skin texture, maybe the audio sync issues. You'll feel like an absolute master of deepfake kung fu. But in reality, fakes don't come with a handy warning label. They blend seamlessly into your social media feed, right next to totally legitimate news. They tickle your biases, and before you even think to look for the tells, they've already sneaked right past your mental defenses.
And the problem goes even deeper. Just as bad actors exploit the vulnerabilities in human cognition, they are also actively exploiting the vulnerabilities in the AI itself. Generative language models are incredibly sensitive to nuance, so by using highly specific, cleverly engineered text prompts, humans can essentially trick, or jailbreak, AI systems into abandoning their safety guardrails and intentionally generating deceptive, dangerous material. When you talk to these systems, every subtle word matters. It's really a prime example of the law of unintended consequences in action.
So, with all this going on, how do we actually survive this digital disinformation pandemic? Well, the source outlines a pretty essential three-step problem-solution framework for us. First, we absolutely must deploy advanced technological solutions to detect manipulated media. We've basically got to fight AI with AI. Second, we need massive educational initiatives to promote media literacy, so people actually understand the techniques we've been discussing today. But third, and honestly most importantly, we need a fundamental mindset shift. We have to be willing to question our own assumptions, actively seek out reliable sources, and frankly, just be brave enough to admit when we are wrong or simply unsure.
Which brings me to a final thought and a bit of a challenge for you. As we've learned today, most people severely overestimate their ability to tell the difference between AI-generated people and real people. So are you absolutely sure you could spot a fake in the wild? I highly encourage you to go seek out the deepfake tests created by the Kellogg School of Management, the New York Times, or the BBC, which were mentioned in our source material. Really test your own deepfake kung fu, because in a world where seeing is no longer believing, your willingness to just stop and question reality might just be your most important defense. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. And remember, always keep questioning what you see.